order, Mr. Lister. The three elders, even the young, not so young Mr. Lister, have exemplified that old adage that the race is not for the swift, but who endures the test. And they have endured many a test. Thankfully, Mr. Patrick Tennant, you have now reminded us of the new requirements, the new obligations that are on our shoulders in order for us to meet the standards of this ever-evolving test. And for that, Mr. Tennant, I'm very, very grateful. I think all of us should take the opportunity to give Mr. Tennant another round of applause. Now we have to learn to love and honor him. It's his parents and our elders in the room today that sacrificed to ensure that a Patrick Tennant, to ensure that a young Mr. Ryan Robinson Parenchie and a young Mr. Aaron Hill, who I see in the audience, have the opportunity to build upon this glorious institution. You have set the example of what it means to be the example of self-discipline. No other attribute can give you that longevity. No other attribute can allow you to go through the trials and tribulations and pitfalls of representing the Progressive Labor Party in this country, but self-discipline. And the four of you are worthy recipients of not just our tokens of our appreciation, but our heartfelt thanks and regard. I also like to thank the executive members of the Progressive Labor Party, the members of the CC, and members at large. Last year, this time, there was doubt in some people's minds as to the future direction of the Progressive Labor Party. We had just lost, a surprising loss in the election. But a year later, we are going from strength to strength. Now, we have shown those within caucus and those without caucus that we have the ability to be a first-class, effective opposition party. I think we've been an effective opposition party since 1963. So that's to be expected. But yet the work still continues. We see what we're up against. So I will encourage all of us, young, old, to redouble our efforts, to give that extra energy within the party, within your church, within your community clubs, within your fraternal organizations, and especially amongst our youth. Let's redouble our efforts, because it's one thing to be an effective opposition. It's more important to position ourselves to be an effective government invader, so that when we do assume government of this country in the near future, we'll be prepared to not only uplift and ensure that our elders are respected and our infants are cared for, but we uplift the Progressive Labor Party and we uplift the people of this country. That's their expectations for us. There's no other institution out there that can meet that expectation. I am grateful for all of our elders who paved the way so that we can celebrate the 51st year of our existence. And I'm grateful to all our young folk who are learning and listening and observing the ways of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I see future premiers in our audience, as I see current statesmen and stateswomen in our audience. That's what makes the Progressive Labor Party, the past, the present, and the future. Thank you all for coming, and I'll now turn it over to the chairman, Mr. Mayor.
Good afternoon, family. Before I get on to the thank you part of it, and it is Father's Day, I would like to take just this moment, not to pause, but to remember all our extended family of our great party who have passed on between this Father's Day and the last. And on the opposite side of the coin, all those new members of the Progressive Labour Party extended family that have come into this world. Most notably, on that note, of course, is Alana Bean, the daughter of our leader, the Honorable Marc Bean, JP MP, and his wife, Nicole Smith Bean. And just recently, last week before last, the birth of G.R. Daniels, the wife of Senator Mark Daniels, JP, and Mrs. Kim Daniels, who had another daughter. With that, I'd like to now get on to the thank yous, and I would like to thank our Deputy Chairman of our great party, Mrs. Sinead Burke, and her team, Ms. Ryan Field Butler, JP, Ms. Belinda Cyrus, JP, Ms. Nadine Francis, Ms. Dawn Simmons, JP, Ms. Marita Thompson, JP, and Mr. Glenn Woods, JP. I believe that Sinead and her committee did an excellent job, as is noted by the guest speaker today, Mr. Patrick Tanner, as well as the two young men that gave us their musical selections, Mr. Leslie Tucker and who's the second? Hunter. Yes, thank you. And of course, the readings by Ms. Shangela Thompson. So, Sinead, thank you and your committee for doing an excellent job. Well done. Special thanks to our ever-present, and you've heard him thanked already today, but I call him TC, the Christopher Famous. Once again, Mr. Patrick Tanner, Dr. Shangela Dawn Thompson, Mr. Hunter Cameron, Mr. Leslie Tucker, Mr. Sean Tucker, of course, the incomparable Reverend Nicholas Tweed, Mr. Ryan Francis Richardson, Blessing. What's that? Robinson. Blessing Grady, Cedar Bridge Academy, and Herbert Baston, who took care of the repast that we will soon enjoy. On that note, I really have one other thing to say, and that is, PLP, all the way. Thank you for coming. Please go out, enjoy the hors d'oeuvres, and refresh.